A Rhode Island assistant principal sent an email to faculty and staff asking for help to pay for a student's human trafficker. And Baltimore public schools used Soros-backed youth ambassadors to push the COVID vaccine for students. Joining us with more is Parents Defending Education investigative fellow Alex Nestor. Good morning, Alex. Thanks for joining us here on the National Desk.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to start with Rhode Island right now because Stephanie Harvey, who is an assistant principal at Mount Pleasant High School there in Providence, sent an email reportedly to faculty and staff saying a student who crossed the border needs urgent support in raising $2,000 of a $5,000 payment to this group that helped him get to the U.S. So we're talking about human traffickers here. Tell us more about this and how you guys learned about it.
So our friend Nicole Solis at the Independent Women's Forum shared this email on Twitter. And what was the most striking thing about this to us was exactly what you noted. They were raising money to send to coyotes. And in this email, they say that coyotes are just a group of people that helps people. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Anyone who has a TV and turns on the news would know that children have been sexually abused, neglected, and have even died in the hands of these coyotes. It is ignorant and incredibly dangerous for a school official to try and raise money for these criminals.
And also, to, like you said, raise $2,000 of the $5,000 payment needed to pay this human smuggler. Was any money raised, and what is the district's response to all of this?
Well, to our knowledge, if there was any money raised, that was given back to the donors because, look, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it would appear to be criminal to send money to this group. And frankly, look, you know, these people who want to get across the border, they want a better life for themselves and their kids in the U.S. And coyotes, you know, extort them for these, you know, massive payments like here, this $2,000 payment that they wanted this school to raise for them. And again, that's just absolutely dangerous. So no, we're not entirely sure if there was funds raised, but the school did say in their little cleanup here that if there was any type of money raised, that would go back to the donors.
Another big talker this morning, Alex, is the Baltimore City public school system, because there's a report now that it used a youth ambassador program to push the COVID vaccine on children enrolled in district schools. Now, your organization received documents showing that the youth ambassador program was part of the Baltimore Equitable Vaccination Initiative project. So that's a project that's funded through a $180,000 grant through a George Soros nonprofit organization. Tell us more about this and how you got these documents.
So as we do, Parents Defending Education looked for some public records and we got them. And this one showed that exactly like you said, there's a George Soros-backed organization that was pushing for kids to get vaccinated in Baltimore public schools. And look, the bottom line here is it's certainly not the school's job and it's not George Soros's job to vaccinate kids. That's the parents' job. And not only that, but we know that this organization was training youth ambassadors to help get other kids vaccinated. And they were also using monetary incentives to try and get these kids the vaccine. I mean, look, Baltimore city schools, kids in this district are, you know, twice as likely than kids nationally to be below the poverty line. And also their National Assessment of Educational Progress scores are far below the national average. So if any organization wants to go into a school and help kids, let's focus on that because that's far more important, honestly.
So this was a vaccine incentive program. How were attendees rewarded?
Well, this, again, was troubling based on what we know about poverty levels in Baltimore City schools. Kids would be given, you know, financial incentives, money, food baskets, or even clothing to get the vaccine. And look, again, vaccination, that's the parents' decision, and it's certainly not the school's place or George Soros's place to be pushing this on kids and families.
Parents Defending Education investigative fellow Alex Nestor, great talking to you this morning. We appreciate you joining us here on the National Desk.
Thanks for having me.